Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we are looking at finding area in terms of variables, and this is a difficult ALEKS topic, but one I think we can do together here. Now, the first step that I would do is to separate what we're doing. We're really trying to find the area of this rectangle right here, and we're going to take that and we're going to add it to the area of this rectangle right here. So if we can figure out these two rectangles separately, and I'm going to go ahead and draw them out down here. This is rectangle 1, and I'm going to try to add that plus rectangle 2. Now, if you remember how to find the area of a rectangle, it's actually quite simple. You have to find the dimension left and right here, multiply that by the up and down dimension. It's just dimension 1 times dimension 2. So how far is it from the top left to the top right? What is that dimension? And we can look up here and see that that dimension is G. And also here, if we're looking to see how tall it is, we can go and look here and see that the dimension is F. So finding the dimensions here, all I have to do is multiply G times F. And since we're in terms of variables, that's actually going to be the answer for the area. We don't know what those numbers represent yet, but no matter what they are, I would multiply them together. So here I have FG. You could put a dot in between them if you want. I'm going to write my plus sign here. And then we're going to figure out the dimensions of this larger rectangle. I'm going to do the easy one first. The easy one, if I look here and find the height, is h. I'm just going to write that down here on this rectangle as h. But now I'm looking at the width. And if I'm going to use red here to show here, if I'm looking at this distance across, how far is it across from this corner to this corner, I have to look from this corner to this corner. Now, we have something here. We have a D. But D is only from here to here. That's just this part right there. If I look at G, is this distance from here to here. So it's also from here to here. So that's a G there. And then I have this. And if you look at this dash, that is the same as this dash. And what the dash means is if you see one dash, it's the same as the other. So here we have the height of F here. So that means also that this width is F here, F. So as I'm looking, I actually have 3 dimensions. I have D, I have G, I have F, and I'm going to add them together. So my dimension across the top is D plus G plus F. Okay, there we go. I'm one step away now. My final step is to multiply them together. So here for this, all I have to do is I need to take, I'm going to put this in parentheses. Always put it in parentheses if you have a group. And I'm just going to say, well, this is height multiplied by D plus G plus F. And here we'll have, this is our final answer for the area. That the area equals FG plus H times D plus G plus F, all in parentheses. Excellent. All right, good luck. Let's take a look at another example in the next video. In this one, we're still trying to find area again, but this time it's just the shaded region. So now I'm just trying to find this highlighted region here, and I'm not trying to find the unhighlighted rectangle. So if you can imagine for a second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area first of this entire triangle. And like a piece of paper, if I only want to find that shaded region, I'm going to then subtract out, or you can imagine with a piece of paper ripping out the area of this rectangle right there. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut everything out. And we're going to separate this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with, again, drawing separate pictures. So I'm going to draw my triangle in blue. That's not a very good triangle. Let's try that again. I'm going to try drawing my triangle here in blue. It's a little bit better. And again, instead of adding, I'm going to subtract this time. I'm subtracting the area of my rectangle, which I'm going to draw in green. So now I have the same type of questions. how wide is my triangle? And you can see it's B from here to here. It's C the rest of the distance, so the dimension is B plus C. Going from last time, anytime you see a dash, it's the same. So if this is dash is A, this dash is also A. So my dimension from top to bottom is A plus A, but I can also write that as 2A, and I think that's a better one, is 2A. Before we find the area, I'm just going to go on and find the dimensions of my rectangle. So again, I'm looking the distance from here to here, my height, and we've determined that that is A. And I'm looking here at my width again, and that's B. I like to do the easy ones first. So I'm just going to go down here. I'm going to write my subtraction sign, and I'm going to write the area of my rectangle, which is AB. A times B. Okay. Maybe a little bit larger pen here. And now I'm going to multiply this together. If you think about the area of a triangle, if you remember how to find the area of a triangle, I'm just going to draw that up here. The area of a triangle, if you remember, is 1/2 times the base times the height. And that is an area of a triangle. And so I'm going to use that down here. I'm going to take 1/2. And I'm going to multiply that by my height here, which is 2A. And again, multiply that. Oh, I have something added together. I need to put that in parentheses. Multiply that by B plus C. And actually, ALEKS will accept this as a final answer. However, if you would like to simplify this one more step, you can actually look over here and notice that, well, what's 1/2 of 2? Like, oh, that's 1, so I don't actually need that. So a secondary way you could write that, if you want to be even more simple. Again, this, as it's written right now, is fine, but 1/2 of 2 is 1. So another way I could write that is A times B plus C minus AB. And that is another correct way to write that. Let's go on to the next one. All right, by now we should be getting the hang of how to do these. Really, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this larger triangle, the area of the larger triangle, and I'm going to subtract out the area of this smaller triangle here. Okay, and that's what I'm going to be left with, is the shaded area here. So I'm going to start again by drawing out 2 pictures. So I'm going to start with a blue triangle. And that is going to represent my larger triangle there. And I'm going to subtract out my smaller triangle in green. And to show that, I'm going to trace these here, green, and I'm going to trace this one in blue. So it's blue triangle minus green triangle. So let's again look at the dimensions. Let's fill in some things that we don't necessarily know yet. I'm going to look at this dash first. And again, since I see 2 dashes, I know that this is x. This is another x. So these are both x. If this one's x, and this one has to be x. So I'm going to write my dimensions of my larger blue triangle, starting with y and z, and I'm going to add them together. That's the dimensions there. So I'm going to write here at the bottom y plus z. At the top, I'm looking at x and another x here. So I'm going to write that as 2x for the height. I'm not going to multiply it yet. I'm just going to draw out my dimensions here. And over here on my green triangle, I'm going to look at my height, which is x, and I'm going to write that here. This is the height of x, and I'm looking at my width, which is y, so I'm going to write that there. And now we do some finding the area using the basic formula again, that the area of a triangle is 1/2 multiplied by the base multiplied by the height. So again, the area of this blue triangle, I have to always start with 1/2, and I'm going to multiply that by my height, which is 2x, and then multiply that by my width in parentheses again, which is y plus z. Again, anytime you put something added together into a formula, you need to put parentheses around it. I'm going to subtract that from my 1/2 again, multiplied by x multiplied by y. And I'm going to leave this here. Again, this is an acceptable answer at this point in your math learning, but there is a more simple way to write it. And if you can figure that out, that would be a great thing. Maybe you can come show me that later, how you would write this more simply. However, for now, this would be perfectly fine. All right, this is the topic, finding area in terms of variables. You've done a great job so far. Good luck.